Hello everyone, my name's Mispa. Welcome back to another video. I'm going to start by talking about a book that I've read this week. It's called Howard's End and it's by EM Forster. It was written in 1910. It's a beautifully written story and it's about three families and how they are intertwined, their relationships with each other. At the centre we have the Schlegels. There are two sisters, Helen and Margaret. Their parents have died and have left them with a very comfortable income. They don't need to work. They go to concerts and attend meetings. They want to fight for women's rights. They want to help the poor. They're very cultured and educated, and I really love the relationship between the two of them. So they have different temperaments and they remind me of Eleanor and Marianne in Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. So I really love the two Schlegel sisters. And at one of the concerts, the younger one, Helen, she befriends a young man called Leonard Bast. So Leonard and his wife, the Basts, they are very poor. Leonard works as a clerk and they have no money put aside. So if anything were to happen to him, if he became ill or lost his job, then they would be destitute and they would be starving. Helen takes Leonard on as a bit of a project. And you can tell by the interactions with the Schlegel sisters with Leonard that they're very relaxed, very easy, and they speak to him in this friendly way. They're very comfortable and at ease. And this comes from being educated and also being comfortably off, being financially secure. Leonard wants to better himself, but it doesn't matter how many books he reads. He would never be in the same class as the Schlegels because he hasn't had their advantages and he hasn't had their education. Then there is a third family called the Wilcoxes. The Wilcoxes, they made their money in business and they are very wealthy. At the start of the book, the younger sister Helen has a brief fling with one of the Wilcox boys, but that doesn't come to anything. Then Margaret becomes good friends with Mrs. Wilcox. Mrs. Wilcox is quite sweet and has a sentimental nature, and she really attaches herself to Margaret. And in the story, Mrs. Wilcox dies. She leaves a note saying that she wants her family home that came to her from her family, so it wasn't part of the Wilcox's wealth. She wants her family home, Howard's End, to pass to Margaret because she really feels for the two Schlegel sisters that they don't have their own home. And the Wilcox family won't need Howard's End because they have so much wealth and they have better residences that they can live in. However, the Wilcox family are incredibly hurt that their mother would do this and they feel really upset. They're a very traditional family and they believe in property being inherited, being passed on, and they don't believe in women's rights or they're not forward thinking. They are very much about traditional values and they can't believe that their mother's done this and they feel betrayed. They destroy the note and say nothing about Howard's End going to Margaret. As the story goes on, Margaret befriends Henry Wilcox. He is the widow. He's the widower of Mrs. Wilcox, so he's left on his own and he's lonely. Margaret befriends him and then Margaret marries Henry Wilcox. So we have Margaret married to Henry and she has this relationship with the Wilcox family. And then Helen, the younger sister, has a relationship with Leonard Bast. So that's how the three families are intertwined. And then it comes to a head at the end of the story at Howard's End. And there is a twist there. And I won't spoil the ending for you. It's a very interesting book to read because initially I really liked the Schlegels and I thought that they had these admirable qualities. But without the family like the Wilcoxes, without a family that works so hard and creates wealth and is successful in business, the inheritance of the Schlegels comes from investing in business, comes from their shares being invested there. And without the Wilcoxes' money making, the Schlegels wouldn't have been comfortably off. And without the Wilcoxes producing this wealth, there would have been no income at all for the Basts. So really they are necessary, but they're just so hard and so obsessed with making money. And I think there is a phrase in the book which is only connect. And I think that's the message here. And that is, if you just have the wealth without actually wanting to help others or to take part and have a relationship in society, then it's quite an empty existence. But without the actual security of money, then you have a very precarious life, and it just limits you and you can't do anything. So a really interesting book to read. It's beautifully written. There's lovely descriptions, lovely imagery and metaphors. I think you will enjoy it. So it's Howard's End by EM Forster. So it's the second part of my video now, and I've actually come to Tatton Park. There is a car park, but you have to pay £7 to park there. So I've parked in the village for free, and I'm walking through the actual park, which is really quite pleasant because you get to see the sheep and the deer. Then I'm going to walk to the gardens. The house isn't open, but the reason why I've come to Tatton Park is to look at the Japanese garden. It was designed and built in 1910, so it's a really old garden. I've read that it's one of the best in Europe, and it has all the classic features that you will find in a Japanese garden. So there are rocks, and they represent the mountains. There's water features, so there's a little stream or a river representing the sea and the lakes, and then the natural planting, which represents nature. So there will be the very soft muted colours of the acers and the green moss that I love. So I'll take you along and I will show you the features of the garden.